If you didn't know this, here's a little thing about penalties when it comes to, the highway code. Penalties. Parliament sets the maximum penalties for road traffic offences. The seriousness of the offence is reflected in the maximum penalty. It is for the courts to decide what sentence to impose according to circumstances. The penalty table on page 126. This is on the laptop that I'm reading from at the minute. It's the page 126 in this official highway code. So maybe it would be on page 126 in a book, but it should be in the book anyway. So I'll continue on. The penalty table on page 126 indicates some of the main offences and the associated penalties. There is a wide range of other more specific offences which, for the sake of simplicity, are not shown here. The penalty points and disqualification system is described below and the following. Penalty points and disqualification. The penalty point system is intended to deter drivers and motorcyclists from following unsafe motoring practices. Certain non-motoring offences, example, failure to rectify vehicle defects, can also attract penalty points. The court must order points to be endorsed on the licence according to the fixed number or the range set by Parliament. The accumulation of penalty points acts as a warning to drivers and motorcyclists that they risk disqualification if further offences are committed. A driver or motorcyclist who accumulates 12 or more penalty points within a 3-year period must be disqualified. This will be for a minimum period for 6 months or longer if the driver or motorcyclist has previously been disqualified. For every offence which carries penalty points, the court has the discretionary power to order the licence holder to be disqualified. This may be for any period the court thinks fit, but will usually be between a week and a few months. In the case of serious offences such as dangerous driving and drink driving, the court must order disqualification. The minimum period is 12 months, but for repeat offenders or where the alcohol level is high, it may be longer. For example, a second drink drive offence in the space of 10 years will result in a minimum of 3 years disqualification. Penalty table. Offence: causing death by dangerous driving. Imprisonment: 14 years. Maximum penalty points fine: unlimited. Disqualification: obligatory, 2 years minimum. Penalty points: 3 to 11 if exceptionally not disqualified. Offence: dangerous driving. Imprisonment: 2 years. Maximum penalties fine: unlimited. Disqualification: obligatory. Penalty points: 3 to 11 if exceptionally not disqualified. Causing death by careless driving under the influence of drink or drugs. The imprisonment is 14 years. Maximum penalties fine: unlimited. Disqualification: obligatory 2 years minimum. Penalty points: 3 to 11 if exceptionally not disqualified. Offence: careless and inconsiderate driving. Imprisonment: there is none. Maximum penalties is unlimited. Disqualification is discretionary, and the penalty points is 3 to 9. Driving while unfit through drink or drugs or with excess alcohol or failing to provide a specimen for analysis. Imprisonment is 6 months. The fine penalties is unlimited. Disqualification is obligatory. Penalty points 3 to 11 if exceptionally not disqualified. Offence: failing to stop after an accident or failing to report an accident. The imprisonment is 6 months. The points you can get are unlimited, and the disqualification is discretionary, and the penalty points that can be added on are between 5 to 10. Driving when disqualified. 6 months, 12 months in Scotland. The maximum penalty points fine, unlimited. Disqualification, discretionary. And the points that you can have on it is 6. Driving after refusal or revocation of license on medical grounds. Imprisonment is 6 months. Points, maximum penalty points, fine, unlimited. The disqualification is discretionary, and the points added on that can be added on are 3 to 6 points. Driving without insurance, there's no imprisonment for this. However, the maximum penalty points you can get, it's unlimited. The disqualification is discretionary, and the points that can be added on are 6 to 8. Using a vehicle in a dangerous condition, no imprisonment for this. Unlimited, but it's LG fee unlimited, PC fee unlimited, over £2,500 for a fine. Obligatory if offence committed within 3 years of a previous conviction for a similar offence, 6 months minimum, otherwise discretionary. 3 points in each case. Failure to have proper control of vehicle or full view of the road and traffic ahead, or using a handheld mobile phone while driving. The fine for this, there's no imprisonment for this, but the fine for this is £1,000 or £2,500 for PCV or goods vehicle. Discretionary, 3 points. 3 points penalty. Driving otherwise than in accordance with a licence, £1,000 fine. It's discretionary, and the points can be added on are 3 to 6. Speeding, no imprisonment for this. £1,000 fine, £2,500 for motorway offences. Discretionary, 3 to 6 or 3 fixed penalty points. Traffic light offences, £1,000 fine, discretionary, 3 points. No MOT certificate, you just get fined £1,000. Seatbelt offences, fined £500. Dangerous cycling, suppose you're on the motorbike, £2,500 fine. Careless cycling, £1,000 fine. Cycling on pavement, £500 fine. Failing to identify driver of a vehicle, £1,000 fine. It's discretionary, and the points that we add on are 6. Where a court disqualifies a person on conviction for one of these offences, it must order an extended retest. I'll say it again. Where a court disqualifies a person on conviction for one of these offences, it must order an extended retest. The courts also have discretion and order a retest for any other offence which carries penalty points. An extended retest where disqualification is obligatory, and an ordinary test where disqualification is not obligatory. Furthermore, in some serious cases, the court must, in addition to imposing a fixed period of disqualification, order the offender to be disqualified until they pass a driving test. In other cases, the court has a discretionary power to order such disqualification. The test may be an ordinary length test or an extended test according to the nature of the offence. New drivers. Special rules set out below are the following. Apply for a period of 2 years from the date of passing their first driving test to drivers and motorcyclists from the UK, EU, EEA, the Isle of Man, the Channel Islands, or Gibraltar, who passed their first driving test in any of those countries. Other foreign countries who have to pass a UK driving test to gain a UK licence, in which case the UK driving test is treated as their first driving test, and other foreign countries who, without needing a test, exchange their licence for a UK licence and subsequently pass the UK driving test to drive another type of vehicle, in which case the UK driving test is treated as their first driving test. For example, a driver who exchanges a foreign licensed car for a UK licensed car and who later passes a test to drive another type of vehicle, example an HGV, will be subject to special rules. Where a person subject to the special rules accumulates 6 or more penalty points before the end of the 2-year period, including any points acquired before passing the test, their licence will be revoked automatically. To regain the licence, they must reapply for a professional licence and may drive only as a learner until they pass a further driving test. Also see Annex 8 Safety Code for new drivers. Note, this applies even if they pay for offences by fixed penalty. Drivers in the first group, UK, EU, EEA, etc., who already have a full licence for one type of vehicle are not affected by the special rules if they later pass a test to drive another type of vehicle. Other consequences of offending: where an offence is punishable by imprisonment, then the vehicle used to commit the offence may be confiscated. In addition to the penalties a court may decide to impose, the cost of insurance is likely to rise considerably following conviction for a serious driving offence. This is because insurance companies consider such drivers are more likely to be involved in a collision. Drivers disqualified for drinking and driving twice within 10 years, or once if they are over 2.5 times the legal limit, or those who refuse to give a specimen, also have to satisfy the driver and vehicle licensing agency's medical branch that they do not have an alcohol problem and are otherwise fit to drive before their licence is returned at the end of their period of disqualification. Persistent misuse of drugs or alcohol may lead to the withdrawal of a driving licence. There you go, guys. Bit of useful info if you didn't know that.